Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only, but if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the SPY, and as you can see, we closed at 592.71. We hit a high of 593.44 yesterday, only to come down off of that and find support off of this ATR trail and stop 200 EMA and a previous level that I had marked. So this was a strong area of support around the 589.16 area, or the, let's see, yes, 589.16. So I always say, where are the trouble places? Considering we bounce from here back to the upside, support as of now 591.57. Should we break back to the upside, 592.11 is a trouble place for us right now, and we see that. Why? Because we see that price was here, price got rejected here. That is a resistance area for us back to the upside. If we should break this level of 592.18, we could have trouble again around 592.62. Breaking that brings us back to around the 593.30 and breaking that 594.17. Now, if we should break that 594.17, there's a few layers of resistance here, starting at the 594.96 up to the 595.32. Now, should we break that, 595.97 could be a rejection area, and 596.45. Breaking that 596.45 area, there's another really close 596.71, not far away. However, should we break that, 598.04 could possibly be a rejection area for us. Now let's look to the downside under 591.57. You see the 5 EMA, I'm going to use that as a support area, 591.35, not that far away. Should we break this level, we could very well come back to around the 590.89, and there's a few moving averages here, one being the 20 and the 50 EMA, but I have this level here of 590.16. Yes, 590.16. Should we break that level, 589.68, breaking that brings us back to this zone here that we were just in, around the 589.46, 589.22, and this level here of 588.92. So if we break this 588.92 area, we could very well come back to 588.38. Again at 588.13, not far away, breaking that 587.58, 587.20, again at 586.67, 586.30, and there's a lot of support down here from that 586.30 down to, let's say, yeah, 584.90. We could very well get stopped anywhere in between this area here. There is a few layers of support. So if you are trading the SPY today, y'all know I say just trade carefully, because in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed, right? We are looking at Tesla. We closed at 342.69. It too has been trading kind of like in this zone sideways, basically. Support is around this level, was around 341.18. We moved back to the upside, got rejected at this ATR trail and stop, in my opinion. Strong resistance, right? So where are the trouble places for Tesla as of now? It looks as if that 5 EMA is what's holding us up now at 343.54. So back to the upside, we will need to break this 344.29, an area that I had marked, and the ATR trail and stop around the 344.62 area, and then y'all see it's another area here at 344.80. so there's a lot of resistance here for Tesla. Let me see if I can make that. There's a lot of resistance in this area here for Tesla. So breaking above the 344.80, we could possibly have trouble 345.59, again at 346.23, 346.84, 347.27. Breaking through that, there's a few layers here. So I'm going to say the 347.78, which is not far from the 200 EMA as of now, 347.84. Breaking that brings us back to 348.75. 349.37, 350.02, and 350.61. So if you're trading Tesla to the upside, those are, or if you're trading Tesla, those are possible rejection areas to the upside. Again, not financial advice, y'all. So under this level, 341.18, we have 342.76, 342.15, 341.60, 341.18, 340.85. That brings us out to this area here, which is the zone that we were trading in. Now, should we break that level, we could very well come back to 340.12. Again, here at 338.83, breaking at 338.36, and breaking that level brings us back to around 337.33. Now, should we break that, we could very well come back to 336.16, which is around this area that we were on yesterday. So what will be interesting for me with Tesla is if we break this 336.16 area, we could very well continue declining back down to the 333.77. So if you are trading Tesla today, I say trade carefully. And y'all, again, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are, right? So we are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 137.38, and it kind of traded sideways here, bounced off of support, which is here, only to go back to the upside, which is here, right? So as of right now, where are the trouble places? And it looks like it is an inside day candle for today. So we'll get that. Now back to the upside, 138.13, we could possibly have trouble. 138.46, 138.57, 138.78, 139.12, and again here at 139.58. Now if we break that 139.58, we can come back to around the 140.08 and possibly have trouble. Now back to the downside, if by chance we break under 137.31, and yes, you can see that 137.46, 137.31, that 50 EMA here is right at a line that I have marked, 136.99. I like to see that 137 area. Should we break that, the ATR trail and stop is forming at the 136.78 right here. But as you can see, that 200 EMA is right there at a line that I have marked. So in my opinion, for NVIDIA, this area around 136.78, 136.67, and this level of 136.60, this is going to be a strong support area for us. So breaking that, we could very well come back to 136.42, again at 136.17, breaking that 135.84, and breaking that 135.67, and again here at 135.39. Now should we break that, we could very well come back to 134.91, 134.54, and again here at 134.03. Now I did mention that NVIDIA was an inside day candle for today. Now normally what I like to do is just give the triggers, meaning if it break above this 138.13, which we've already tried to break that pre-market, the target to the upside is 139.61. Now to the downside, if by chance we break back under 135.39, we have a downside target for NVIDIA here at the 132.93. So if you are trading NVIDIA today, I say so often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, get out. So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at AMD. We closed at 114.63, and it kind of did the same, kind of bounced off of support back to the upside. Looks like it's getting rejected here at this 115.05, 115.01 area. So where are the trouble places as of right now for AMD back to the upside? It will need to clear back above the 115.05. 115.20 could be a rejection area. 115.79 could also be another resistance area. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble at 116.32, 116.86. If we break that 116.86, somewhere around the 117.38, 117.59 area, we can get rejected. And if we should break that level to the upside, 118.25, 118.66, and breaking that brings us back to around 118.98 and 119.37. So let's look to the downside, losing this area of support here at 114.61. As you can see, y'all, the 5 EMA is here. We are resting at this area, and there's a level that I have marked at the 114.61. I like to see that. Breaking that brings us back to this level, which is around 114.28. Breaking that level brings us back to the ATR trail and stop at 113.93. Should we break that, there's a few layers of support here. There is the ATR trailing stop, a previous level that I have marked at 113.83, and the 50 EMA at 113.80. There's a lot of support here, in my opinion, for AMD. Should we break that, we could very well come back to 113.56, and breaking that brings us back to 113.01, which is where that 200 EMA is as of right now. Losing that area, we could very well come back to around 112.01 or 111.99. Let's say the 112.01, and should we break that level, 111.42, again 111.03, 110.65, those are possible support and resistance areas for AMD. Again, y'all, it's not financial advice. We do have a few inside day candles for today, and Intel INTC is one of those, and we're close to that, breaking through that area. 1982 is got, if we should break that level, the possible target for Intel is here at $20.27. Now, to the downside, if by chance we break under 1937, downside target 1930, and as you can see, it's kind of trading in a gathering spot here, so I would definitely watch above that 1982 area. It can go in either direction. Just know that 1997 could be an area of resistance. Again, not financial advice. Let's see, there's a Pfizer, PFE, is also an inside day candle. It too is trading sideways on this 200 EMA. It's kind of like resting at this 200 EMA on the 30-minute chart. Just know we have resistance at that 23.51, which is the ATR trailing stop. However, if we break above 23.56, upside target for Pfizer or PFE 23.62. Now to the downside, under 23.22, downside target 23.16. So if PFE or Pfizer is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. So X, which is US Steel, is also an inside day candle, and we have already reached the target, broken through the trigger, all of the above, right? So 53.96 was the trigger. To the upside, 54.03 was the target. We've made a pre-market high of $54.90, which is here. Now, if we should break back to the downside under 53.16, downside target for X or US Steel is $52.81. So if that is something that you trade, y'all know I say trade carefully. Let's look at Meta today just to see where we are. We closed at 670.90. It too has been trading kind of like in this gathering spot. It came down just a little bit to find support, only to go back to the upside. So where are the trouble places for Meta? As of now, we need to get back above this 671.64 area. As you can see, price has been in this area here. Back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble again, 673.45, again at 675.90, and if we should break that area, we could possibly have trouble 681.46, 682.86, 685.28. Now keep in mind, from this level of 675.90 up to this area of 681.46, we could very well get stopped out in between or have some resistance or trouble in this area here. So if that's something that you trade carefully. So back above 682.78 or 682.86, we could possibly have trouble again, 685.28. And if we should break that area, just know 694.21 could possibly be a rejection area, and we could very well get stopped out in between that. So if you're trading Meta today, those are possible areas to the upside. Now let's look to the downside. Under this level of support of 669.41, we could very well come back to 667.38, 665.79, and it is at the ATR trailing stop. And y'all see that line that I have marked, and the 50 EMA is not far away, right here at 665.22. So breaking that brings us back to a possible support area around 662.82, and if we break that 659.89, breaking that, we could very well come back to 657.64, and again here at 655.22. Should we break that level, 654.04, and the 200 EMA is around 652.48, which is not far from a level 651.55 that I have marked. So if you are trading Meta today, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside. And y'all know I say so often, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging at times is trying to figure out what strategy works best for you, and for you to have the discipline to execute what you know or what you see. Let's say that. So make sure you set your stop losses or whatever it is that you choose to use. Make sure you have the discipline to execute your plan, y'all. So again, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe. Y'all, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.